Amazon unveils a plan for a new AI-powered Alexa under a subscription model. California is moving ahead with AI regulation. Russia says our internet and GPS connections are fair game. And while the New York Times hasn't exactly said AI is dead, it does point out a mortal threat. All this and more on the Sounds of AI Silence edition of #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. The Washington Post has reported that Amazon is announcing an update to its Alexa voice assistant, incorporating advanced AI capabilities designed to make the device more interactive and human-like. The new Alexa will feature enhanced natural language processing, enabling it to understand and respond to more complex commands and questions. This upgrade will be available as part of a subscription service called Alexa Plus, marking a shift from Amazon's traditional model of free updates for its smart devices. Now, this new AI-powered Alexa aims to improve user experience by offering a more personalized interaction and more contextual understanding of user requests. For instance, Alexa will now be able to carry on more natural conversations, remember details from previous interactions, and provide more nuanced responses. These updates are built into Amazon's new AI models that have been trained to better understand human language and intent. The introduction of a subscription model is a notable move, potentially signaling a shift in how tech companies will monetize smart home technology. Amazon's decision could pave the way for other companies to explore similar revenue models. This update is expected to roll out later this year, giving users a preview of the future of smart home interaction. And if Amazon makes this work, it will mark a significant shift in the smart home industry towards subscription-based services and demonstrate the growing influence of AI in everyday technology. The move could also have broad implications for privacy, data usage, and consumer expectations of smart home devices. Recent developments suggest that Russia may be targeting critical Western communication infrastructure, potentially threatening global internet and even GPS systems. Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, recently warned that undersea cables enabling global communication could be legitimate targets for Russia. And while Medvedev is known for his provocative statements, experts believe this threat should be taken seriously. These undersea fiber optic cables transfer 95% of the international data across continents, supporting internet services, financial transactions, and more. NATO's intelligence chief, David Kattler, has warned that Russia may be planning to target these cables in retaliation for Western support of Ukraine. Simultaneously, Russia has been accused of interfering with GPS navigation systems, causing disruptions to commercial airline routes. This is seen as part of Russia's gray zone campaign against the West, covert actions below the threshold of open warfare. The vulnerability of these systems is not new. During the Cold War, both the US and the USSR surveilled undersea cables. However, our increased dependence on electronic communications has made these cables a critical point of vulnerability. Experts argue that current protective measures are insufficient. And while NATO has begun taking action to safeguard undersea cables, more robust government fallback strategies are needed. The Center for Strategic and International Studies has called for increased international cooperation to coordinate responses to potential attacks on cables. And this situation underscores the urgent need for countries to develop resilience plans and alternatives to keep critical communications operational if key infrastructure is compromised. It also highlights the complexities of holding perpetrators accountable for sabotage in international waters. As our reliance on connectivity and data grows across various sectors from agriculture to food delivery, the potential for disruption through interference with subsea cables and GPS becomes an increasingly serious threat to national and economic security. We reported earlier on California's Senate Bill 1047, aimed at regulating artificial intelligence, and the debate it sparked in the tech industry. The bill would require AI developers to comply with certain rules before developing their models. But the bill is now moving forward and has passed the state Senate and now faces an August 31st deadline for assembly approval. Key players are divided. Anthropic cautiously supports the amended bill while OpenAI opposes it, arguing it could hinder innovation. Elon Musk has voiced support, stating that AI's public risk justifies regulation. Although Elon Musk's Grok is certainly one of the most unregulated models in existence. The bill has undergone significant changes, including the removal of criminal penalties and adjustments to legal standards. It's also excluded most smaller models, and only models costing more than $10 million to develop and fine-tune are included. And it also has some provisions that protect open source developers. Critics, including some members of Congress and industry groups, argue that federal regulation would be more appropriate. Bill sponsor Senator Scott Weiner counters this, saying, "I reject the false claim that in order to innovate, we must leave safety solely in the hands of technology companies and venture capitalists." As Congress is yet to act on AI regulation, California's moves highlight the growing role of states in shaping tech policy. The outcome of SB 1047 could set a precedent for AI governance in the U.S. And finally, we've done a lot of stories about the conflict between content producers and AI companies using their content to fuel these AI systems. These AI models have an insatiable need for content at levels that are almost unimaginable. Not too long ago, Sam Altman from OpenAI was musing about being able to solve this issue with synthetic data created by AI to train AI. And you might have noticed he's not talking about that much now. And in fact, OpenAI is trying to sign agreements with content producers to use their content. Why? Well, a story in the New York Times may hold the key. The article talks about a concerning trend emerging in the world of artificial intelligence, the potential for AI to consume and learn from its own output, leading to a degradation in quality and diversity of information. This phenomenon, known as model collapse, could have a far-reaching implication for the future of AI and the information we consume. While AI model developers are looking for more and more new content, AI-generated content is flooding the internet. OpenAI alone produces about 100 billion words per day, equivalent to 1 million novels. And as AI companies train new models, they're more and more likely to inadvertently ingest some of this AI-generated content, creating a feedback loop. And research shows that when AI is trained on its own output repeatedly, the quality and diversity of its results can significantly decrease. This has been demonstrated with text, images, and even simple tasks like generating handwritten digits. The problem, known as model collapse, occurs because AI-generated data is often a poor substitute for real human-generated data. It lacks the nuance and diversity found in genuine information. The New York Times article has a link to some graphic examples. It's well worth looking at, and I don't think you need a subscription to see a single article, although they do make you log in. I'll post a link on our show notes at technewsday.com. So this issue could lead to real problems and poses challenges for AI companies. As high-quality, diverse data becomes scarcer, it may slow down AI development and make it harder for new companies to compete. Worse, if model collapse starts to occur, these large models could conceivably either grind to a halt or lose the confidence of the public as data accuracy becomes questionable. Solutions being explored include paying for high-quality data, developing better AI detection models, and using human curation of AI-generated content. So is this the death knell of AI? This is that old line from Simon & Garfunkel that the New York Times said, "God is dead." Well, they didn't really say AI is dead this time. It is, however, a real issue that has to be dealt with if these AI models are going to continue to grow and develop. And that's our show for today. You can find our show notes at news site technewsday.com or .ca. Take your pick. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a thrilling Thursday.